You're watching News 12, serving Westchester and the Hudson Valley.
And it has been 1 month since the tragedy in Newtown, Connecticut. Coming up, what should be done with Sandy Hook Elementary School, where the massacre took place last month?
Horrifying, but the reality is that this is a very common occurrence.
Plus, a Yonkers nonprofit now offering advice to the White House on how to curb gun violence. It's been exactly 1 month since the tragic shooting at the elementary school in Newtown, Connecticut that left 26 people dead. 20 first graders and 6 staff members were killed at the Sandy Hook Elementary School when a lone gunman opened fire in December and then took his own life. 1 month after the tragedy, the town held a meeting to try and figure out what should be done with the school building itself. Some want to see it torn down, others want to turn it into a museum. Some believe it should be reopened. Now, the massacre at the Sandy Hook Elementary School has put the spotlight, of course, on gun violence nationwide and how to try and stop it. News 12's Safan Kim tells us why the White House is now turning to a Yonkers nonprofit for help.
The tragedy in Newtown, Connecticut, reigniting a national conversation on how to deal with gun violence.
It will take commitment, and most of all, it will take courage.
But when the White House needs advice on how to tackle the issue, they turn to people like Brian Farragher.
It's horrifying, but the reality is that this is a very common occurrence.
Farragher is the Chief Operating Officer of Andrus here in Yonkers, a provider of mental health counseling programs and services to children who have been victims of violence. He was invited to the White House last week to give his 2 cents. In Washington, Farragher talked about Andrus' sanctuary program. It helps other institutions implement their approach, that those who commit violent crimes are oftentimes themselves victims of violence. Sanctuary is used by juvenile detention centers, child care providers, and schools, to name a few. Farragher says in the coming weeks he hopes whatever policies and initiatives come from the White House will take a thoughtful, big-picture approach, because he says there's no simple answer to solving our nation's problem with violence.
The focus was on how to really change the conversation around gun violence. You know, we've done a lot of things in this country, say around drunk driving or seat belts, where we've taken sort of public health issues and now we're in a very different place. When I was a kid, nobody wore seat belts.
And Farragher says the first step is raising awareness. In Yonkers, Safan Kim, News 12.
Well, the Andrus facility was founded in Westchester County back in 1928. It currently serves 2,500 families and children a year. The sanctuary program was started back in 2001.